Hey everyone, welcome to Color Palette Dot-Alongs. My name is Tara Lynn Pugh. I'm facilitator to the Kaleidoscope Mandala Club, and I'm a mandala maker. The idea here behind Color Palette Dot-Alongs is that we experiment with a brand new color palette and see where it leads us. There's no preset design, no pressure for perfection, just creative flow. So I'll be winging it right alongside you. You can follow along with me step by step, or you can do your own thing. The most important thing here is to get into your creative vibe, get into the flow, and try out some new colors. So if you're new to dotting, or enjoy following along step by step, that is what you can do with me, or you can do your own pattern. I'd appreciate it if you give my channel a follow and hit that like button. It really means the world to us creators. And you can also find me on Facebook at Tara Lynn Pugh Artist. So let's get started. You'll see up here in the corner, I've got our color palette. We're working with the Strawberry Shortcake color palette today, which is Bubblegum Pink, Strawberry, Watermelon Slice, Citron Green, Irish Moss, and as you can see in the picture, I've got some gold, and then occasionally I'll use white and black because those are great accent colors. So that is the palette that I'm using. Feel free to use similar colors. You don't have to have the exact color. Today I will be creating with a 16-arm stencil, so I'm going to go ahead and get that on my surface. And like I said, when I do these, I do not have a set design. I just kind of start from the middle and wing it. So I'll walk you through what I'm doing. But if you want to change the stencil that I'm using, the background color, anything like that, feel free to go for it. The idea here is just to try out some new colors. See if you like them, see if they work together for you. I've been doing these color palette dot-alongs for about a year now, and there have only been a handful that I've not really been happy with. Most of the time they turn out really fun. All right, so I've got my stencil on there. And all right, I'm going to get started with my dotting. I'm going to use a 10 millimeter for my center, and I'm going to go watermelon slice for that center. I think for a lot of this design, I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm going to take this watermelon and I'm going to layer the two pinks on top of it with top dots. So initially, I'll use more watermelon than the other colors because I'm going to bring those in a bit. All right, so 10 millimeter watermelon center. And then I'm going to do 1.5 millimeter. And then let's do Citron, which is the lighter of the two greens. I'm going to do a ring of 16 around the middle with 1.5 millimeters, Citron green, 1.5 millimeters. I am going to go up to 2.5mm stylus, and I'm going to use the Irish Moss. And this time I'm going to do some pins. I don't think I have enough room to do teardrops, but I'm going to do a ring of 16 offset so that I can pull them into the previous row. So I'm going to do my dots and then pull them down. My green paint sure is gloppy today. All right, I'm going to get a 6mm rod, and I'm going to go back to that watermelon, and I'm going to do 8 dots, 1 on each line. I really love this watermelon color. I'm not a huge fan of reds, and this one has such a, I don't know, it just almost has like a pink tone to it. I really like it. It's like a corally red versus a primary red. And I love, love, love it. All right, I am going to get my 2.5mm stylus, and I'm going to use gold. And I am going to swipe. I'm going to go to the right side of my line here, and I'm going to swipe inward. So just to the side of the line. And I do want my swipes to kind of meet in the middle there. I'm using a 2.5mm stylus and gold paint for these swipes. I'm going to use my 2.5mm and my Irish moss, and where the dip is for those swipes, I'm going to put a 2.5mm dot. You're going to see me here just fixing a few of these swipes that ran out of paint. .6mm Irish moss again. Next to those small dots, we're going to do 8 dots, 8 6mm dots. All right, now I'm going to create a petal around each of these that has 3 layers. The first layer is going to be watermelon. The center dot is going to be 1.5mm. And then I'm going to use my 1mm tool to walk the dots on each side. So it's 1.5mm at the center, 1mm on each side, walking the dots. For the next layer, I'm going to use the strawberry color. Now strawberry tends to be pretty transparent, so I did add a pinch of white to it, and that helps with the transparency. So just a side note, if you're using a different color from the bottle other than strawberry, you may not have to worry about that. But I love the color. It's just transparent. So when I use it on black, it doesn't show up real good. So I did add a pinch of white. But I'm going to use 2.5 millimeters for my center dot. And then I'm going to walk the dots on each side with 2 millimeters. So 2.5 millimeter center, walk the dots on each side with 2 millimeters. And then I'm going to add one more layer to this petal with the bubblegum pink. I'm going to use 3.5 millimeters for that center dot. And then on each side, I'm going to walk the dots with 3 millimeters. So 3.5 millimeter center, and then 3 millimeter walk the dots on each side. All right, next I want to do some swoops. I'll give everybody just a second here to catch up. All right, so for the swipes, I'm going to first use my Citron green. I've got my heater going in my room and it's making a film on top of these. So bad. Okay. Citron green is the lighter of the two greens. Mix that up so it's not chunky. All right, so I am going to swoop and swoop. I did one with the Citron green. I'm going to do a swoop here with the Irish moss. I'm not sure how I feel about adding white to this. I did put white in my palette here, but I think I'm just going to keep the only accent color as gold. I like how it looks. Oh, I didn't mention, I'm using the same tool, 2mm to swipe with. 2mm Irish moss swipes. All right, I am going to get a 4mm tool, gold, and in that little dip in between those swipes, 4mm gold dots. And then I'm going to use my 8mm tool, and I am going to dot 16. So on every line, I'm going to make a 8mm dot. Then I'm going to use a 2mm stylus and my watermelon slice, and I'm going to put a teeny tiny dot right at the top. And then with my 2mm tool, I'm going to use the strawberry, and I'm going to swipe on each side. Wish you guys could see how fast this paint is like filming over because of the heat in my house. And it's not even warm in here. It's just making the air really dry. Okay. So I am going to swoop on each side of every one of these. And then I'm going to use that same 2mm tool, and I'm going to use the Bubblegum Pink. And I'm going to add another layer of swoops, but this time I'm just going to change the angle a bit so it's not right next to that previous one. This one's kind of an in-betweeny swoop. All right, and that is it for the base dots of this design. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. I'm going to dry this a little bit, and then I'm going to top dot. Top dots are a great way to take somebody's design and kind of make it your own. So feel free to top dot however you would like. As I mentioned, I kind of in my head was visualizing layers with the pinks. So I am going to do that. In the middle, we started with 10mm. So I'm going to go down to 6 with the strawberry for the middle. I'm going to use a 4 for this ring of strawberries. So 4mm and strawberry. I'm going to stick with the 4mm, and on top of these Irish moss green, I'm going to do gold. out here in this ring, these dots here, I'm going to use a 5mm tool and strawberry. Now, once again, I'm going to dry this and then I'm going to come back with my last layer of dots. All right, of course, when you are doing your top dot layers, you really do want your bottom layers to be dry, so be cautious. I am, of course, working all in one fell swoop because I'm on video here. So I am going to use a 4mm and our bubblegum pink for the center. I'm going to use a 2.5mm stylus for this ring right here. And then a 3mm rod or stylus without a little hair on it. Oh my goodness. All right. 3mm for these ones on the outside ring. I do really like this palette together. It's a cute little color combo. So if you try it, I would love to see it. Sorry about the barking. It's my dog trying to protect me from the wind. I'm not sure if it needs white or not. I feel like white might be a good addition. I don't have a whole lot of negative space on here, but I could find some places to use some white. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you think I should add white? I will post my finished piece on my Facebook page. So if you want to see how it turns out, you can tune in with me there, Tara Lynn Pugh Artist on Facebook. And I do these color palette dot-alongs every so often on YouTube. So if you have enjoyed dotting along with me, go ahead and follow my channel. I do these every so often. I have some other fun free events. I would love to see how yours turned out. And I'll see you next time, everyone. Have a great day.